Everyone. Oh my gosh. This is I guess a conversation. I don't like the word webinar, it's so clinical. It's a conversation about how to blend self care, self love, and money. Okay, yes. And my name is Denise Williams. I am your financial success coach. Joining me is Denise Francis Robinson, a creativity coach, and I am going to hand over to Denise.
Hey, hi guys. First of all, I have to apologize if you hear an echo. We have no idea why that echo is happening. So please, with humble apologies, please, bear with us if it gets too much. Well, holler at me. And so I am Denise Francis Robinson, and I am the creativity specialist. I've been artist for forever, but trained artist and beyond that, educator. And now, even more joyfully, I facilitate and help people to discover their own creative selves. So that is my mission, to expand me and to expand others along with me. That's the only mission I have in life. All right. So today is an awesome day, and I'm happy that you guys are here to share with us. We're going to be talking a little bit, but we're also going to be doing a little bit of activity to demonstrate what we are going to be up to for the 27th of February. And so, welcome again, as Denise said. I noticed a couple of other people have come in. Ava, I'm seeing, and I'm not so sure about the other name in the wee corner for some reason. My
Yes, RT.
Oh, okay. RT. RT. That sounds kind of cool. RT, Art T. Yes. So what we're gonna do today is the big word is romance. We're loving self, and so in this space, romancing your money with creativity, we want to shed a different kind of light. This is just picture, just to show how Denise and I love to show off, to take pictures of ourselves and post up. Welcome, Judy.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
All right. So our idea is really to affirm. I don't think anybody will object to this statement, and everybody will agree that everything is energy. The table is energy. You are energy. There's computers energy. The trees are energy. Everything is energy and vibrating at different frequencies. And then so it is our money. Money is also an energetic, part of our existence. How did I get here? Yeah, how did I come to want to put something like this together? Well, first of all, I use creativity for everything. So how I can engage with creativity is endless for me. So I'm thinking, it would be great if I could put something together in terms of creativity, romance, releasing money blocks. And then this, of course, is a complement to traditional financial planning. So comes in my very dear friend Denise in that picture. What we are working with today is not to eliminate one or the other, or favor one over the other. It's just basically we're looking now at balancing. We're going to create a balance between the two ideas. You have right brain, you have left brain. Right brain, we know, is that creative, expansive space. Left brain, that more logical, day-to-day fixing problem space. And very often, as we are trained, I think even in schools, there's a favoring of the left brain, what we call the more masculine energy, as opposed to the feminine or right brain. And so we're saying it's time for us to merge both ideas. And in the right brain, we often find that that's where, if we set ourselves up right with this right kind of activities and promptings, that's where the nuggets lie. That's where the gold mine is. All right. So as we move forward, then give me the next slide. I just want to get prompted by that. As we move forward, I'm going to ask people to open hearts, open minds, and open just to new and alternative ways of looking at what we are suggesting or what we're posturing here. I need our next slide then. Yeah, no? Okay, we got a little glitch there. Not to worry, not to worry. All right. So, my story is that I am creative. I am the kind of person who had a block around believing that, you know, I'm spiritual, I'm creative, and money has no place and no discussion. That's something that happens when it happens. I'm a kind of person who believes in give, give, give. You know, you moms out there, you know what that's like. If any of you are caregivers, you know what that's like. So I am all give to other. Don't worry about me. I'm good. Things will work out somehow, and that's nice to a point. But when the bills come in, I have to dial that back a little bit, and so therefore I recognize that I was very unbiased, unbalanced, kind of lopsided in the way that I was living. Yes, my creativity served me beautifully when my son was in crisis, and it helped me through emotional healing, an emotional wound with him, and it has also helped him. But there is more that needs to be attended. And so I came from that space. Now, Dennise, and I'm hoping that she can come on, was from another perspective, another avenue. What was your slant then?
Okay. Wow. All right. So I would say I actually have the opposite story because, I'm coming from banking and I am coming from a story where, it's all about, for those who are in banking and know, it's all about reports and following the news and following the markets and making sure. And then I went through a divorce and then I had to go to court. And then every single button inside of me was pushed. And I was no longer functioning in a way that was analytical. The numbers, I was hostile, I was scared, I was just spinning. And I guess I'm going to call it a gift because out of that experience, my money blocks were scarcity thinking. I suppressed my artist nature. I didn't understand how to tap into my unique energy to manifest goals. So, in a sense, I lost the intuitive, creative part of myself. So, I wasn't a whole person. And so that impacted my financial growth because I was at a position to say, but how come I understand how to invest and you know how to do these things, but nothing's working for me. Over a period of about 5 years, I started to work to rebuild my creativity. And actually, this workshop came together because Denise and I realized we were actually treading the same path, but on the different sides. And so we said, you know what? Why should people go through years and years and years of struggle when we can come together, create a program that will make a difference? So I just want to run through what we believe is happening and why we think our program is just awesome. And the teaser that you're going to get this afternoon will also be absolutely awesome. Okay, so many of us, I shared my story, Denise shared her story. We know we're not achieving what we want, okay? But then we don't know the pathway. It's very unclear. And we want to get over blocks, but we don't know what the blocks are. And a lot of those blocks are coming from childhood, and it still has an impact today. Um, and then society trains us to be poor. Think about the fees and the interest and all of the issues you have with your own finances. And you think, oh, something's wrong with me, when in fact, you are actually trained to make these decisions so that big banks can profit. So, you may have taken a traditional path. You may have said, wow, let me do the 9 to 5. Let me make my job my life. And one of the things I preach in my financial success coaching practice is that your job is not your career. Your career and your job is two separate concepts. Okay, your career is your greatest asset. Your job is one part of your career. And so, but if you think in a traditional way that your job is your career, is that working for you right now? Is it serving your highest and best? And so Denise and I are presenting an untraditional approach to help you clear blocks. And, this is not a one shot deal. This is a process. We are introducing you to practice the practice. And that said, I'm handing right back over to Denise.
All right. Yes. Then the next slide after that one, I'm gonna need it. Here is what Whitney says. No matter what's going on externally, you can always choose the energy or the reality you create or receive in that situation. You are always free to bathe yourself in whatever feeling you choose. When you open up to your natural state, you remember that you are an infinite being currently experiencing life as an individual. How many of us forget that? We doubt ourselves all the time. You can call on or call in a higher knowing, an elevated perspective, or an eagle's eye view. What flows into you when you connect to this aspect of yourself knows only love, truth, wisdom, and infinite possibilities. And I just love that. It's from Whitney Freya's book Rise Above. A really nice book if you guys can grab it sometime. So basically, we preach, or we think, we believe that we are infinite, and but as we go through our daily lives, we get into doubt, and we get into maybe playing down on ourselves, and as a result, because like we should know better. And so in this workshop now, I'm just going to try and give you a few strategies that you can actually go away with, that you can even start to utilize in order to shift that mindset. And so before I start, I did say we're romancing ourselves, right? And so as we think romance, and as we're on this date with ourselves and with each other, did you bring your beverage of choice, guys? Did you get your candle that you're gonna light in a little bit? I have my beverage of choice, water today. And of course, your incense. So, as we take this journey together, it's all about getting into a nice feeling space. And that nice feeling space comes from dressing up your environment, having something nice to eat or to drink, perfuming the air with your incense, maybe lighting a candle as a point of focus. And so, with that, I would love to take us into a first activity, which is just to do 3 breaths to just ground ourselves, to make sure that we are present, because that is one of the things that we work on, is that you want to be able to remain present, and present to everything, the good, the bad, and whatever. So just to take the 3 breaths to become centered, and deep breath in and let it go. Another deep breath in and let it go. And this time, deep breath in and let go with a sound. So we're releasing whatever is not serving us at this moment, and we're in the present, right here, right now. And so, who knows about creating mind maps? Anybody? Can we unmute? Anybody knows about mind maps? Yes, no. All right.
Well, everybody get unmuted. Okay,
Is it the same way
then
as
can I show off? Can I show mine? Okay.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you, Denise.
We Yeah, we're gonna do a mind map together first and foremost, in order to discover some of our money thoughts, our money ideas, our money ways of thinking. Then is gonna show hers. I have a crazy one here, and I have one that I started very starkly in black and white, so that it's easy to be read. And you're gonna put in money at the center. And what I did to prompt me in terms of how I was thinking about money, I had four headings. I had cultural, I had spiritual, I had economics, and I had personal, just as headings. You don't have to do that. That's just a choice that I made in terms of how I know that I think around money. And at this time, you're just gonna really just brainstorm, just allow the information to pass through your mind, and as it passes through, you're gonna just make the notes to yourself. I have two other slides that show two other approaches to doing this, and if you want, Denise, you can show those two slides so that they can get a better idea of what it can look like. Because I don't wanna pigeonhole anybody into doing it like how I did, like how I do it, because that's part of my emphasis is for people to come to an alignment in their own personal way with basic guidance. So in this one, at the center we see exercises for relaxation and distressing. That's just an example I pulled from the internet. So if you substitute money in that central space, you see how you can get really creative with how you set up the map. And then here's one a little bit more formal, for the person who thinks more from that logical mindset. But the actual making of the map is the balancing that we're talking about with the right brain. So even if you set it up in that with that left brain, maybe corporate kind of old school teachings, sort of way, just the idea of pushing all those concepts out there, that's a whole creative endeavor, because you're going in to flow out. All right, so we can give you a few moments for that. Guys, you have your journals, I'm assuming, or if not, you have just a piece of white paper or typing paper, and you're gonna grab a colored marker or crayon or a colored pen if you had, and we could even talk a little bit about color if that arises. All right, but for now you're just doing a brainstorm. All right,
So then, you mentioned color. I mean, in this session, can we say pick a happy color just for this purpose?
in this section you just pick a color, pick a color, because what's happy, what's sad, what's in between, we have no idea, because that's another space that when we go to the bigger program and we start talking about color theory and how colors affect the way we respond to certain situations, how we are feeling, our emotions can definitely be shifted and changed by just changing our clothes, changing the colors that we wear in terms of clothing. So I wouldn't want to say to somebody pick a happy color or any other. They'll pick a color, and we can have a conversation around that color afterwards. Understand, guys? Yeah. So I'm gonna maybe put a little music on, but I'm fine. My dogs are acting up. I'm sorry.
You stopped the music and you went mute because I was gonna say as soon as you stopped the music, the dog stopped.
Thanks for that. I didn't realize. Sorry.
So while the music is going, I just wanted to throw in, there's generally money, but then there's income, there's money management, there's wealth, there's goals, there's jobs, there's career. So these could be prompts that could help you to keep going with your mind map.
How's it going, guys? Sometimes you have to really think, you know.
Please feel free to post a comment if you're not ready to talk or share your video, and I can answer you in the comment section.
This is Maxine. You're
Yes,
hearing me?
Max. Yes, Max.
My map is very simple. It's income, the money in the center, bringing money in, a big expenditure circle, which would have two circles, savings and expenditure. And of course, expenditure has different levels. It has the basic must do bills, food, household bills, etc. And then it has expenditure for pleasure, entertainment, the extra clothes, etc. And giving, just those three things, and savings, which goes to wealth. Savings to create wealth.
So, Max, I'm gonna invite you to dig a little deeper and say how you feeling about those ideas. You know, what's the feeling associated with, you know, any one of those spaces. Go into that as well. All right.
I want to also jump in, Maxine, because and support what Denise is saying about the feeling. Because sometimes, let's pick on savings. And you may say, oh my gosh, my savings isn't enough, or my salary isn't enough, or, just whatever isn't enough. And there may be some feelings of anxiety, feelings of stuck, you feel stuck, feelings of inadequacy, you know so what we want to do is you need to write it down. Let's not even be in this Pollyanna thing where we pretend these feelings don't exist, because it is in bringing them in a space where we can be creative and heal, right? So we want you to be honest about how you feel. So again, job versus career. How do you feel about your career? Maybe you never even knew you had a career, you just thought you had a job. But how does that feel?
No, I have always known that I have a career because I have never been a traditional 9 to 5 person. There have
Awesome.
been times in my life when I have worked 9 to 5, but I have always been pretty much not wanting to do that and try to earn my income otherwise. But
Absolutely.
and it was fine for many years. I didn't feel any sense of inadequacy or anxiety. But I'm now 67 years
Mm,
old, right?
yes, young lady.
Yeah. The thing, the disadvantage sometimes of not having had a traditional employment is that you don't have the traditional benefits that come with traditional
Meaning
employment.
pension.
So whereas my sister, for example, who thought she has a lifelong income that she can depend on in terms of her pension, it might not be, you know, a great amount, but it's enough. And then there I think it is an advantage that at 67, still nobody is going to tell me to retire. I will
True,
stop,
true,
end my career
true.
when I don't feel I can
Amen.
continue
Amen.
or I am
Amen.
not able to produce at the
Amen.
level I want
Amen.
to,
Yes.
right? But the whole business of not having an assured, sometimes I earn a lot of money, sometimes I don't, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But let me say this though, is
Yes.
I felt good that during COVID, even with limited income, I was able to pay my bills.
Yeah, right.
I wasn't able to do the extra stuff, but I never 1 month had to wonder, how am I going to pay my bills? Of course, what it meant was that there was a decrease in the amount that I had put aside. And of course, what comes with this age too is you never know when you're going to have to make that big expenditure. It only takes one serious illness.
Yes.
And what you think, you may have thought was fairly comfortable is not even enough.
Can I
Then,
say, can I
uh-huh,
say, Maxine, first of all, thank you for sharing. Absolutely, thank you for sharing. And a young lady like you sounds very
my
forward
dear.
thinking to me. And I love that you're here in this because, as I can tell you, sharing a similar kind of sometimes fully employed and mainly freelance and as a businesswoman, I can tell you working with Dennise Francis Robinson
Uh-huh,
changed life because look at just numbers, you miss the story. You miss the story, Maxine, when you look at just numbers. And so working with Dennise helped me to see the other side. So I just invite you to enjoy this process, be a part of allowing color, because in our workshop we talk about color, culture, concepts that go behind the numbers. So again,
right.
let me hand over back to Dennise in the interest of time. And Maxine, I want you to just keep going with us, keep the conversation going, keep it going. Because as I said, I find you inspirational. But I'm gonna mute myself and hand over to Dennise.
Okay, so Max, thank you for that as well, and I will encourage you to keep working on the mind map. It's a mind map, but it's like you're mining, you're digging, and you really every time I have a mentor that says that whenever you step to the canvas or you step up to your visual journal, you face your mirror. Each time if you make just even one single brushstroke, or you come up with one single idea that shifts where you were 1 second ago, then you have made a stride. We are not saying, paint a picture and here goes $1 million in your account tomorrow. We're saying that you want to become much more clear, more aware of what is driving some of whether the fears or what's driving the victory, because then you want to dig more into that as well. This for everybody. So this process of doing this map, I'm going to encourage you also to don't be too formal with it. Don't let the idea that, oh, I did that in a course in something marketing, whatever, or that's what we used to do in sixth form, whatever. Have fun and play for me is critical when I have it upside down, and that's good too because some of the words are written all over the place. But play is also a critical space where we get to reinvent ourselves. We get to discover more of ourselves, and just to make you reflect a little bit more on that, you can, just next time you see some children, like 5-year-olds playing, 6-year-olds, if you encounter those, whether in the schoolyard, on a TV show, whatever, watch them play and watch how they are developing these ideas and they're living through their ideas in that moment. Watch how the fantasy of building a fort and going to war, what that does to their energy. Watch what happens if there is a child who is left out of the play. What happens to that child? Those are some of the cues that you can use in the creative process to help to advance your shifting of mindset, shifting of energy. And when we say mindset as well, it's not just just in your head. It's just how you're feeling in your body. So I'm picking on you, Maxine, because you are so generous with your share. You're saying your sister did this and you did that. She has a pension. It's not much, but what she had to get to that space, what she had to do was different to what you had to do. And you're seeing the benefits, you're seeing the rewards, you're seeing the risks, you're seeing the benefits, you're seeing the risks, you're seeing the benefits. And so it's this dynamic. And so what we want to do is, in the moment of us feeling like we're up, we're down, is to find a level that in the hurricane is the eye, and we can sit in the eye of that hurricane and things swirling around us, and we are calm. It's not that we're not connected, it's not that we're not seeing, hearing, knowing. It's just that we have a tool or a group of tools that we anchor to that shifts our vibration. And the more, as we know in the law of physics, is that what you focus on expands. And so as we focus on the expansion of self, we are saying that things shift around us like magic. I'm gonna dare to say that. All right. So can we unmute somebody else then for them to share a little bit about their map, and then we can move on from that. This is a continuous process, guys, so don't stop after the workshop, after the taster. Continue to develop your map.
Judith?
Draw and
Hi,
follow.
Judith. You want to share?
Okay. All right. So I found it a little hard. Not hard, but it required, and let me just turn on my camera. It required some thoughts about what I thought of money. So I had some thoughts, and like so money run things, money runs the world, right? No money, no fun. Some have money, some don't, and it's all a matter of luck, right? And sometimes you need to work hard for the money. So, so those are my thoughts. I mean, I guess I get them from the world then, right? That's what people say all the time about money. But then I had when I thought about it now, I had some feelings about money, right? And they have to do with scarcity, with anxiety, with being stuck, right? Being less than, right? And sometimes, it has left, sometimes I feel envious of others that have money. So that's where I am. Another thing is that I always, I get my money from one source, really, because I have a job. And Denise must have been speaking to me when she said that there are some people who did not, who up to recently just thought that their job was equal to their career. So I am discovering that I have a separate career from my job, right? And right. So what I was saying is that you have one. So my money comes from one place, right? But then it goes all over. So I pay bills, and there's so many expenses, right, that I have to deal with. And so that is why I have such anxiety about money. And I
So
really.
I jump in though, Judith,
Mhm.
and say that one of the things I'd like all of us to take away from
Mhm.
this is energetically. Now, numbers will tell a story.
Mhm.
Energy is another story.
Right.
Energetically, all of us, when we get paid and we distribute the money to other
Mhm.
people, energetically, we are a power source. We are building the economy. I appreciate that it may feel not like that, and that's what we'll work on in these workshops that we will go through. But I just want to put this idea, it may be a radical idea, but if you look behind the numbers, which is what we're doing with creativity, if you were to put yourself in a mind map and put
Mhm.
yourself as a center and then do the different nodes, to
Yes.
all of the people that you pay out,
Mhm.
right? All of a sudden, if you look at the mind map we have here, you put yourself in the orange, and then
Right.
you make all of the people you pay out the different nodes that
Mhm.
come from that orange bubble. You
Right.
are the center of a particular universe. I know,
Okay.
sounds crazy, doesn't it? And it's so crazy that I'm going to stop talking and hand over to Denise because she understands my particular kind of crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, and that's a perfect crazy. That's a perfect crazy, because one of the little things that I do whenever I'm paying a bill, or oh, that dratted that loan at the bank, Lord of mercy, what a big set of money these people are take from me, you know. But I was the one who walked in there and said, "Hello, sir, do you have X amount of money you can give to me and I'll pay you back, blah, blah, blah," So I have to remember that I created that. I didn't have to go and borrow any money anywhere. I created it. And so, as a creator, and I recognize that this is my responsibility, then I'm also going to create a response to that, not a reaction. And the response that Denise that gave a while ago is one of the ways that is perfect, you know. Or you're paying the bills and it's like, wow, isn't this awesome? I am able to distribute this money, to give joy to people, because I'm sure when the bill collectors collect what they, know that they deserve, I'm sure they're happy. And I'm sure they're unhappy when they can't collect. So, yes, reframing, yeah, rethinking what, what our life looks like is very much a part of the creative process. And sometimes people will say it's that's so hard, the bill is there, I don't have but all I can say is dig deep. All I can say is spend time with self, go into meditation, open up to that right brain, that creative space that we have, as Denise said at the beginning, trained out of. Sir Ken Robinson, awesome educator, said that school systems seem to have been create training us out of our creativity. And so we have to recover that. We have to get that back. We have to become that 5-year-old who knows that, you know, you can build a fort out of a box. And so when you start to inhabit that way of thinking and being, using your meditation, or going to the canvas and just putting a brushstroke on and just putting yourself in that right brain mode, in consideration of issues of left brain, then the world starts to shift and shape in a new way around you. So, with that, I'm so glad, Judes, you have shared. And I don't know, others who have been doing the mind map, I'm encouraging you to think of, go through what you feel about the ideas that you have brought up. You kind of alluded to it a bit, but you can go further, right? How am I feeling? And when I'm feeling that, where am I feeling it? Am I feeling it in my heart? Am I feeling it in my stomach? Am I feeling it in my head? You know? And you want to get all of that stuff out. You want to release it. You want to acknowledge it, recognize it for what it is, but then you want to move on. Because I'm sure in some of your maps there are some nice things, because I put spirit in, and I have openness, generosity, safety, and that counteracts my insecurity around economic systems, world order, playing the game. My personal way of thinking is, I think light thoughts around money, and on the same breath, in the same breath, I think, I panic when I don't think I have the money to pay a bill. So being honest with ourselves is, I think, one of the first steps, or one of the first things that we can do as we enter into that creative space. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I There is this image that you shared with me, and I was sharing with the group, which is, I found I could say things with color and shapes that I couldn't say any other way. Things I had no words for, which is Georgia O'Keeffe. And I want to say at this point that anxiety with money is coming out of a space of scarcity. And in our workshop that's coming up on February 27th, we will be there, in my research, over the years that I have been working with persons in financial success coaching, there are 7 layers of scarcity. And I have found that if you address scarcity with something very traditional as a budget, you guarantee to create panic. It's going to create, because, again, we've been wired to look at numbers as judgment. So I don't have $100 million at this age, and so I am a failure. Or, my parents said I should be a doctor. I failed medical school. I'm only a teacher. I only make a little bit of money, so I'm a failure. And so here's a million reasons why you're a failure. And of course, there's a lot of helpful people out there that will reinforce how much of a failure you are. We all know people in our life that can point to the 1 million things that's wrong with us. However, when you take up the paintbrush, the crayons, the pen, the colored pen, a pencil, a piece of paper, and you go into colors and shapes, when you cut images out of magazine, when you do a digital um, vision board, you name it, when you step away from a traditional interpretation of your value, your worth, your money, what you're doing with it, you open a new conversation with yourself. So, and Denise, I'm hoping you will back me up on this new conversation about money, what it means, with colors and shapes and pens and glue and glitter and all of these wonderful things.
Okay. So, thank you for that. Then we're gonna go on to a second activity, and this one is real easy because we're gonna go to what's called we're gonna go on a shopping spree. So, ladies, tell me which one of you don't like a shopping spree. I wouldn't mind somebody just give you a bunch of money, just run to the wherever, I mean, COVID, yes, put on your mask, put on your whatever, but you get where I'm coming from, right? Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do a little meditation. And the meditation, for those who do meditate, I don't know if everybody here does, you are really working at expansion. You're working at releasing, acknowledging, and seeing what's not working or what's holding you hostage, as it were. And then dropping or releasing that logical thinking and processing that we do so well. Even when we are sleeping, we have vivid dreams about all kind of stuff. That means that, like, we're not resting. So the meditation helps you, one, to release the challenges that you are facing daily. It opens you up to another space, another way of thinking, of being, and it is proven it actually shifts you cellularly. It has a positive and powerful impact on your cells. And so it's very important, and I'm going to advocate as part of your creative process and coming into a better, a nicer alignment with your relationship with money or anything else, that a meditative practice be engaged with morning and evening, morning or evening, middle of the day. The Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh, he talked about, working meditation. You can walk while meditating, you can wash dishes and meditate. It's just that matter of focus and expansion. And so I'm going to take you on this journey, and at the end of the journey, we're going to just do another art activity, and we'll see how it goes. Um, so at this time, I want you just to relax and just listen to me. I'm going to play the music. I hope it's not too loud. Close the eyes very gently. Deep breath in and out. Now see yourself stepping out of your home, and you have a beautiful car, your favorite or your dream car. You're stepping into it. And in this moment, you are grateful. Acknowledge gratitude for this vehicle. Now you're driving, and you get to the supermarket. It's a very familiar space. Step in the door of the supermarket, and you're the only one there. And you grab that trolley, and you make your way down the first aisle. And along the aisle, it's packed with everything that you have ever wanted. But there's a special thing that you're looking for. And you discover it because it's lit up. There's a glow, a golden glow around that thing. You head towards it, and you take it from the shelf. And you say thank you. Put it in your trolley. Now these things can be symbols or they can be the actual thing itself. And this supermarket has everything that you could possibly want. It's there for you. Nothing is missing. There's no shortage. You head up the next aisle and you spy that other thing. And you know it because it glows golden. And you head there and you pick it up. Put it in your trolley. And you continue. This is a shopping spree. And you are feeling joyful because you can have anything you want. Anything. You head up the next aisle. Another beautiful glow catches your eyes. You head for it and you pick it up and you look at it carefully. Wow, I didn't know they had this. I'm so happy and so grateful that it is here. Thank you. And you continue on your way, looking for, seeing, receiving, appreciating. That thing can be a feeling. Who says it has to be a form? Do I want that feeling that's up ahead? I see it glowing. You head towards that other thing that you've always longed for, yearned for, and it's there for you. And so you pick it up. And now you're heading out the door. And guess what? It's all free. Anything you want. There is nothing that's not available to you. Because in this space you vibrate at the highest level. So everything is available. And you leave that supermarket in a full trolley. Back to your amazing car. Back to your home. Giving thanks. Giving thanks that all that you need, want, desire is already yours. It is here for you. It never leaves. And the only way you can miss it is when you doubt. And there is no doubt here. Giving thanks, much gratitude for an abundant and giving universe. We live in a universe that is loving, wise, and is supportive. And so we return to our spaces where we are, sitting in front of our computers, knowing that all is well, taking a deep breath in and releasing with a loving, yes. Just say yes. Just say yes. So it is. So when you're ready, you're going to open your eyes and you're going to write the first 3 things that occur for you And then you're gonna watch me do a little activity and you're gonna follow along. So that slide that was up a while ago showed us a bunch of stuff. So you just do your writing now, and I'm gonna talk about that a little bit. Or then you're gonna talk about that. So anybody wants to share the three words that came through? Feeling, thing, emotion, whatever.
Well, I'll share. For me, it's about peace, coming to peace. It's another word for me, was release. Because again, a lot of times the whole idea of money is very heavy. But again, when you step into the creative space, you can start to see that you're carrying a lot of times other people's expectations, definitions, needs, and all kind of things don't belong to you, which is why this creative approach to romancing your money is just so awesome. So those were my words. So, freedom, peace, release. Those were my words. Oh, Dan, you want to take it over, or would you like me to just jump in to the other symbols?
If you want to, go ahead.
Oh, all right. Okay. So, while everyone's still putting together their words, I just wanted to put, Dennise and I, when we were putting together our big program that's starting February 27th, a lot of times we look at what we define as, money. And one of the things you have to appreciate, it changes from culture to culture, from period to period. So, I mean, I love that it starts with the cow. I don't think anybody in here would argue from a historical perspective, agriculture was the symbol of wealth. Agriculture was the symbol of exchange. And I can say, well, first of all, happy birthday to me next week. And I remember being in this group of persons from a particular, from an African nation. And a couple of the men agreed that even at my age, I could still get 50 cows, you know. And so, I mean, what? I still got it. And so I know that from an agricultural perspective, if I were to, expect marriage, that at least because a much, much younger woman would, the conversation starts at 200 cows, so that I could get anything at my age is an achievement. So money and wealth and your value is so subjective, right? I go to bed at night knowing I'm worth 50 cows. Who knows what that means anywhere else? But now we jump from cows to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. We all know about the cash and even credit cards is plastic money, it's invisible money. And the thing though with Bitcoin though, it's a rage, but there's this story of a guy who bought like $50 of cryptocurrency like 10 years ago. It just came out and he's now worth like how much 200 million, but he can't remember the password. So he has no access to the $200 million. So, oh my gosh, how do you go to sleep with that? So yes, I'm gonna hand over back to Denise for her to take it from a bit of the ridiculous. But the point is, money and our concepts shift in time.
Yes, and that was quite funny then. I wonder how many cows I'm valued at. um, so that little exercise, that journey to the on the shopping spree, I think it should have taken you through a few different moments, and you want to use your journal to write a little bit about that as well. And just want to ask if there's anybody who moved from the shopping spree of finding things to going into finding feeling and emotions. Anybody out there had that kind of transition from finding the fine wine? Because when I started this once, I went to, okay, I want some wine, and then I wanted some nice cheese to go with the wine, and then I said, oh, but it can be anything, it can be a symbol. I said, okay, I need a new house, and then after that I went into another level, and eventually I tripped into feeling just like Dennise, the peace and the bliss and the love, healings, So it went in, it graduated. It didn't say that I didn't want or desire things, which is nice. Who doesn't like a nice glass of red wine? But, in the meditation, you eventually transcend and you move to other levels. And so in that moving to the other levels, that's when the cells change. Dr. Joe Dispenza always says that you sit in a meditation, and when you get up from the meditation, you're not the same person as when you sat down. And I like to say, when you go to your journal and you engage with the journal, that blank page, once that blank page starts to have something on it, then you have shifted your vibrational frequency. And so with that, I want to take you through this activity where we look for messages, symbols, because we do work with symbols unconsciously and consciously on a daily basis. So this exercise is messages from spirit, a spontaneous symbolism. And this is my expression, and it's just a moment. I've done many of these. There is a central image that you see there, and then there's writing around it. When we do this exercise, think of when you were a little kid, or even more recently, if you go to the beach and you lie back on the beach and you look in the clouds and you see different things form in the clouds. You see a castle, you see a dog, you see a camel. Different images occur to you as the clouds morph. So what we are doing now is we are actually creating our own little cluster of lines, and from those lines you spend maybe a little like 5 or 10 minutes studying them and encouraging some of the lines to be developed. In this one, when I did it first and I emphasized it, I got the infinity symbol 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. That's what occurred in there. But as I kept looking at it, I saw, like a little baby bird at the lower left hand side, and then there was a bigger energy over that bird. And I interpreted that. This is very personal, guys. I interpreted that as some kind of guardian or guide, And this exercise, I think, is a step into the space to allow you to really and truly suspend that logical mind and move into a space and see where the benefits and the blessings and the gems are from that creative, intuitive mind. And so let me just do that, the basic exercise on camera, and we can then do, continue to develop it. So I'm gonna just hold up this paper here, and I'm gonna use my black marker, but you pick any color, you grab anything that you want. And what I'm gonna do is close my eyes, and I'm gonna make it even more interesting. Use my non-dominant hand, and I'm just gonna close my eyes, place my mark on the page, and for 3 seconds I'm just going to move my hand any direction that I want. Okay, so when I drop the paper, that's what I'm doing. All right, so I'm closing my eyes. I'm going to count to 3, maybe 4 seconds. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's it. Now, who knows the word scribble scrabble? I always tell my students that's a very highly it's an advanced word in art. Scribble scrabble. You know I'm kidding, right? Okay. All right, Dennise, let me see yours. You can. Yes. Okay. Oh, and I see you are using a lined page. Interesting. All right. Now, your next step is to really, just like how you look at the clouds and you see the things forming, look at your scribble scrabble, your scribbles, their message from your spirit, message from the soul, and see if there's an image that you can outline. You might have to encourage it, might be like you might see the beginnings of the bird beak and the head and the tail and whatever, and then you have to find a way to okay, add in some legs. Here's the thing, guys, there's no wrong way to do this. If it comes out to something that is completely comical, that's great, because maybe you needed a laugh today, right? If it comes out to something that is amazing, like, woo, I didn't know I was such an artist, that's okay. So you want to then look into your scribble scrabble, find the dominant form, find something that is jumping up. Already when I'm looking at mine, it's like I'm seeing like a dolphin image. And my infinity symbol is coming back as well. So I'm just going to outline, just to remind you what I look like. This is my scribble scrabble. You don't have to be an artist, people. You don't have to be an artist. You're just going to be tracing what you just did as a rough sketch. All right? So I'm going to go over, and the rest of you guys do the same thing. Search, search, search. You can turn it upside down. You can turn it vertical. Vertical. Turn it around, turn it around, turn it around. Just to find the image. Because here again, it's just like life. It's abstraction, Things just come from seemingly from out of nowhere, So I'm seeing, I'm gonna do a little extra dark. I hope you're drawing, guys. Hope you're looking and drawing. Once you find your shape, if you want, you can color it in so that some of the other lines become less. They become subliminal. Yeah, you can color over with your crayons or whatever. All right. So dolphin comes to me, and that's definitely a power animal, because we know that dolphins are like super intelligent. Some people have some other ideas about dolphins being from some other world, but they are really, really brilliant. So I'm kind of thinking, dolphin? That's some part of me is as super brilliant like a dolphin? Yeah. So I'm just gonna color that in. I've outlined it a little stronger. You see how charming it is. It's kind of remind me of when I was teaching my little 4-year-olds when they start drawing. They draw in this kind of symbolic way that is really quite charming, quite fascinating, and it gives them a whole ton of joy. Don't let a 4-year-old start telling about their artwork, because you're gonna have to get your lunch. You're gonna have to get some dinner and a pillow, because they don't stop. So I'm gonna color my dolphin, and I just decided on blue. And I'm doing it really quickly in the interest of time, because I realize we've had you here for quite a while, guys. Thanks for sticking with us and being such wonderful, wonderful guests. So this is our symbol that you'll take away with you. This is your power. Ooh, I'm shaking my table. Sorry about that. This is your power symbol that you'll take with you. I don't know, what will come up for you, and I would love to have. Oh gosh, I'm calling so
Okay,
hard that the thing
so
is
this is
shaking.
mine, and I'm seeing a heart.
Let me see yours, Dan. Let me see what you come up with. Messages from spirit, messages from subconscious.
So I think it's a heart.
I'm not seeing you, Dan. Switch your camera. Switch the view.
Oh,
Ah, nice. You found love. Nice. You see that?
yes,
You found love
yes,
there. Woo!
I
Yes.
know.
See my.
I think
Let
it's
me show
all that
mine.
talk, all that talk about 20 cows.
Let me show mine then. See mine there. Ta-da! And so guess what, guys? You can add to this. So now that I have my dolphin in place, if I want, I can just put like some water shapes around him, or I can probably write some of the words that came through for me, or some of the feelings that came through for me when I went on my shopping spree, the shopping spree meditation. Maybe you can fuse the two ideas, or maybe one is influencing the other, because at the level of energy there's no boundary or barrier. So we are here together, and we're just one of us here, because we are all connected, right? And so it's actually quite empowering to recognize that you can gather as a group of strangers, and then recognize how divinely connected we are. That maybe if we had time, we tell each other's story, and it would work out to be the same story. There's no accident. There's no, wow, this is a coincidence. There's a coordination of incidences. Where we are in alignment, and so here we are together, sharing and benefiting from one another. Yeah? Okay. So, those persons who are not on camera, would you show us your images in another 2 minutes? Don't know if you came up with anything as yet.
I wanted to add that I hope that you see absolutely no connection with what we just did and your budget or your investment portfolio or any of the things that represents traditional money. And that's the point. The point is, so I have my heart here. The last time I did this exercise, it was something else. The whole idea is to trigger the two sides of your brain, because regardless of the dollar amount at your savings account, your investment statement, or whatever, there is an emotion attached to that number. There is a story attached to how come you have that number versus another number. And so these stories and these emotions that are attached to whatever number, your insurance policy, your mortgage, the value of your house, any traditional financial metric that we use, the story and the emotions that are attached to those metrics don't belong to you alone. So if you have a mortgage, maybe your mother has something to say about the mortgage. One of my clients, she talked about having a mortgage as her mom says the bank gives you enough rope to hang yourself. Okay. Um, so there's different stories related to money. And so by doing something that has nothing to do with money, but your intention is to untangle the emotions and untangle the story. When you do creative work, it's yours. You pick the color red for your reason. You pick the color green for your reason. In our workshop on February 27th, we'll be doing a lot of activities and having a lot of conversation about color, culture, and concepts that we carry to money. And the whole purpose of them is to untangle the stories. Okay. So trust us, the process has a purpose. And, again, let me say it so we don't forget, I really would love to see you on the 27th. I have put both of our emails in the comment section. Of course, they're going to get a follow-up email from us. We really want to see you so that we can start this journey of using non-traditional concepts to untangle the emotions and untangle the stories that is carrying with our savings accounts, our budgets, our insurance, our mortgage, our investment, our job, our career, just all of that. We want to walk with you on a journey to untangling. Okay, so I'm going to hand over back to you.
Thank you, Denise, for that. And then what we want to make sure that we remember, in all of this is that you have infinite wisdom, and our day to day engagements, responsibilities, challenges actually sometimes block that wisdom that is within. And so, in developing your creative practice, you are allowing some of this divine wisdom to flow through. I just did a scribble, and the image of a dolphin came to me, and symbolically, they said dolphins are regarded as very highly intelligent beings. And so, from a very personal space, I have taken that to be a message from above, God, higher self. Different people have different names, so I don't want to marginalize anyone, but it's a higher awareness that I got this. I am, as the dolphin, an intelligent being, you know? And so when the moments of frustration will come up, and they do, because just a little bit of my story. I have a son who is an invalid. I have a husband who is also very ill, and I cannot tell you that it is, it's just a picnic over here. you know Moments of stress emerge and have the power sometimes to take me out of my greatness. And I'm happy that I can sit and just simply make a scribble, be like a 5-year old, find what's in this scribble, what's in this cloud, and whatever arises, I am grateful. I love it, because it's always something to bring me back to center. And my center is my connection to that divine source. So that's what the meditation does, that's what the scribbles do, that's what the making of the mandalas, the collages, all sorts of other creative activities allows you to explore that left brain that gives you, sorry, that right brain that gives you that kind of insight, so you can balance and be in better alignment when logical mind is also working overtime. So I am going to be blessing you, and I'm going to be thanking you for being here, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys on the 27th when we will do a lots more. We'll talk a little bit more in depth. We'll do a little bit more activities. And so I'm going to just leave you here now. Bring a friend, by the way. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you all for being a part of this. Really appreciate it. Again, any comments, drop us an email or a post in the comments section. Looking forward to seeing you on the 27th. Um, thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right.
Does anybody
Oh yeah,
anybody
any
want
comments?
before we go?
Anyone?
Anybody has anything they want to share before we go?
No, not yet.
You can just unmute yourself.
All right, so no comments. So then we say
Just
goodbye
want
to
to
everyone.
say,
Oh, sure.
yeah, just want to say thanks. I found it interesting. I saw no connection between this and my financial situation, but I expect I will on the 27th.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, but thanks. Great experience.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And saying that,
Yes.
I just wanted to just, be clear that what we're doing is going behind the numbers to release the blocks, release the baggage, release the stories, release the emotions. It's about release.
Liz want to say something?
Yes, I wanted to just say thank you very much. I didn't come in at the beginning and I had to jump off for a while, but I took note of all of the creative exercises and I'm gonna go and do them right now. Wonderful.
Thank
Thank you all. And again, just to remind you, it's beyond the 27th, and we really look forward to seeing you there. Bye.
Bye.